Hi, I'm Alfred Ray. I would like you to know a little bit about my life. It all started when I was born on January 2, 1911, in Newcastle-under-Lyme, England. My father Alfred Ray was born in 1877, in Newcastle-under-Lyme. His occupations were coal miner loader, colliery driver, iron worker ladle man and iron worker. My mother Martha Bond was born in 1885, in Newcastle-under-Lyme. Her occupations were unpaid domestic duties and scholar. When they married in 1910, my mother was 8 years younger than my father. I had a sister and a brother. My sister Ina was born in 1915. My youngest brother Frank was born in 1917. I married my sweetheart Minnie Colclough on August 4, 1934, at age 23 in Newcastle-under-Lyme. I still remember it as if it were yesterday. She was born in 1912, in Newcastle-under-Lyme. She was 22 years old when we married, 1 year younger than me. Her occupation was laundry worker. We had 2 beautiful sons. Both our sons were born in Newcastle-under-Lyme, England. Our eldest son Kenneth was born in 1939, when I was 28 years old. He married Kathleen Mitchell in 1963, in Newcastle-under-Lyme. Our youngest son Malcolm was born in 1946, when I was 35 years old. He married Patricia Bailey in 1966. I lived in Newcastle-under-Lyme, England, in 1911 and in 1939. My occupation was motor driver. Minnie and I had 6 grandchildren. From our son Kenneth, we had Stephen, Julie, Andrew and David. From our son Malcolm, we had Wendy and Amanda. A lifetime full of memories. I hope you found this fascinating. That's it for now.
Hi, I'm Minnie Colclough. I'd like you to know a little bit about my life. I was born on January 14, 1912, in Newcastle-under-Lyme, England. My father Thomas Colclough was born in 1878, in Tunstall, England. His occupations were scholar and tram driver. My mother Martha May Tams was born in 1879, in Staffordshire. When they married in 1899, my mother was 1 year younger than my father. I had 10 siblings: Elsie, Thomas, James, Harriet, William, Sarah, Arthur, Margaret, Patricia, and Dolly. We had such a large family. I took Alfred Ray as my husband on August 4, 1934, at age 22 in Newcastle-under-Lyme. He was born in 1911, in Newcastle-under-Lyme. He was 23 years old when we married, 1 year older than me. His occupation was motor driver. We had 2 lovely sons. Both our sons were born in Newcastle-under-Lyme, England. Our eldest son Kenneth was born in 1939, when I was 27 years old. I still remember it as if it were yesterday. He married Kathleen Mitchell in 1963, in Newcastle-under-Lyme. Our youngest son Malcolm was born in 1946, when I was 34 years old. He married Patricia Bailey in 1966. I then married John Lambert between January 1961 and March 1961, at age 48 in Newcastle-under-Lyme. He was born in 1916, in Croydon, England. He was 44 years old when we married, 4 years younger than me. His occupation was estate agent clerk. I lived in Newcastle-under-Lyme, England, in 1939. I worked as a laundry worker. Alfred and I had 6 lovely grandchildren. We had Stephen, Julie, Andrew and David from our son Kenneth. From our son Malcolm, we had Wendy and Amanda. I'm so glad I got to share my life story with you. Thanks so much for watching. Farewell, love and kisses.
My name is Ernest Mitchell. Here is what I would like you to remember about me. My story all started when I was born on July 10, 1912, in Burslem. My father James Mitchell was born in 1878, in Stoke-on-Trent, England. His occupation was potter's sagger maker. My mother Elizabeth Lewis was born in 1886, in Staffordshire. Her occupations were unpaid domestic duties and scholar. When they married in 1911, my mother was 9 years younger than my father. I had 6 siblings: Samuel, Elsie, Vera, Winifred, Joan and Ethel. I married the love of my life Henrietta Evelyn Walsh on May 28, 1939, at age 26 in Stoke-on-Trent. I still remember it as if it were yesterday. She was born in 1918, in Stoke-on-Trent. She was 21 years old when we married, 5 years younger than me. We had 2 children. Both our children were born in Newcastle-under-Lyme, England. Our eldest daughter Kathleen was born in 1942, when I was 29 years old. She married Kenneth Frederick Ray in 1963, in Newcastle-under-Lyme. Our youngest son Alan was born in 1945, when I was 32 years old. He married Pauline Gator between April 1966 and June 1966, in Newcastle-under-Lyme. I lived in Newcastle-under-Lyme, England, in 1939. My occupation was pottery teapot handler. Henrietta and I had 6 grandchildren. From our daughter Kathleen, we had Stephen, Julie, Andrew and David. We had Sharon and David from our son Alan. I'm glad I could share my life story with you. I hope you found this fascinating. Goodbye.
Hello, I'm Henrietta Evelyn Walsh. My friends know me as Eva. It's so nice to meet you. My story started when I was born on February 3, 1918, in Stoke-on-Trent, England. My father Thomas Walsh was born in 1893, in Ireland. His occupations were coal cutter underground, heavy worker and scholar. My mother Henrietta Lawton was born in 1894, in Burslem. Her occupation was potter's sponger. My sister Esther was born on June 11, 1924, in St. Paul's Street, Dale Hall, Burslem. I married the love of my life Ernest Mitchell on May 28, 1939, at age 21 in Stoke-on-Trent. That was one of the happiest moments of my life. He was born in 1912, in Burslem. He was 26 years old when we married, 5 years older than me. His occupation was pottery teapot handler. We had 2 beautiful children. Both our children were born in Newcastle-under-Lyme. Our eldest daughter Kathleen was born in 1942, when I was 24 years old. She married Kenneth Frederick Ray in 1963, in Newcastle-under-Lyme. Our youngest son Alan was born in 1945, when I was 27 years old. He married Pauline Gator between April 1966 and June 1966, in Newcastle-under-Lyme. Ernest and I had 6 wonderful grandchildren. From our daughter Kathleen, we had Stephen, Julie, Andrew and David. From our son Alan, we had Sharon and David. I'm so glad I got to share my life story with you. Thank you for watching. Farewell, love and kisses.